On social media platforms today, quality content often goes unnoticed. On Den, users get paid for the creation, evaluation, and curation of quality content. Content creators are rewarded based upon the engagement and reach of their post or comment. Content evaluators are rewarded based upon the speed and results of their predictions about which content will trend or go viral. Community owners are rewarded based on engagement within their community. On Den, quality content pays.
Hello, and welcome, everybody. I am your host. I am. And today is a special recording. It is kind of an introduction to who I am and how the emperor of a DAO, or a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, was created. So without further ado, I want to first, again, welcome you here watching and listening today, and a special warm welcome to my fellow denizens. So I am William, also known as I am, and many of you have probably seen me on the World Blockchain Roundtable, and some of you have seen me on other podcasts. I've also been usually on Monday evenings on Litecoin Lisa's show. She also has a layer here on Den.Social called the Mighty Layer. And we usually do a show Monday evenings, and we kind of dive into all kinds of different history or different news topics, or anything that's kind of new tech or new ideas, and we talk about them. So I encourage you to go to her show or her channel and watch those on Monday evenings and see me. But more importantly, tonight I wanted to talk just a little bit about how I got here and how the DAO elected this thing called, or this role or title called, Emperor. We're going to have fun with this Emperor thing, but let's be just a little serious tonight and go over this real quick. So, I don't know, October, November, the idea that the DAO needed a leader. It was kind of a platform and a DAO that was a ship in water without a rudder. And maybe the conversation kind of led up to, we need some kind of leadership there to direct the DAO. But this leader needs to have a limited role. And this leader needs to be able to be unelected or deposed or swiftly pulled out of that position, with a quick vote by the DAO. Well, that was agreed. There was a proposal submitted, and it passed that the DAO needed a leader that was still answerable to the DAO, an ambassador of sorts, if you will, for Den.Social. Well, then the question came up, well, what are we going to call this title? Is it director of the board, president, prime minister, leader, ambassador? Then some crazy ideas came up. Maybe we should call him Caesar. Him or her, call him Caesar, or call him Emperor. Well, that was kind of funny, because a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, having a leader called an emperor, well, that's kind of like an oxymoron, right? But it was fun. And I thought of it as being probably a good stunt, a PR stunt that could get traction. Well, I happened to vote for Caesar. I didn't win. Emperor was passed. And so we now had voted in a leadership role with limited abilities. We voted in the title of Emperor. Next, we needed who is going to fill that role. Well, I put my name in the hat. What do I got to lose? I'm a retired guy. I'm a husband, a father, a grandfather, and I'm retired. I've helped other companies in the past turn around. I've saved companies, I've saved jobs, And some companies, we tried hard and we worked hard, you know, and we weren't able to save them. And, you know, you win some, you lose some battles in life, right? But I've always strived to protect jobs and expand on potential. So here I am, voted unanimously, unopposed, to be the emperor of the DAO and Den.Social. So we're going to have fun with that. But I wanted to get you a little bit of history of how we got here. Now, let's back up just a little bit. Let's go back a few years. I heard about Den.Social on Mike D. Crypto's channel or something. And I went, wow, this is a neat idea. And the more I looked at it, and I was already in crypto for years already. And then I go, wow, this is really interesting. I like this concept that they got going here. And I knew it was a beta live situation. I knew that this was a proof of concept, and I knew that it was beta, it was live, and that there were a lot of bugs that still needed to be worked out. Knowing that, I still went in heavy. I invested quite a bit, probably about $6,000 at the time. And it was ironic because I watched my price as I was purchasing it go up and break that dollar mark. So I was right around that mark. And it hit an all-time high of what, $1.25, $1.30. I don't know what it was. And today the Matter price is dismal. It's sitting at around 9 cents, 10 cents. Having said all that, and we'll talk about that later, I've taken a big hit financially from my investment in Den.Social. But I kept buying later, much later, because I still believe in the concept. And I still believe in Den.Social, and I still believe in my fellow denizens. So I stuck it out, and I'm still here. And now, one more time, I'm in the role of turnaround. Let's fix this thing. And we can do it. And we can do it because of Den.Social's underlying principles. We can do it because of the foundation that has been laid, what is already working, and we can build off of that. And because I believe it, that is exactly why I'm here. And it's not to pull up my stack. And I'm going to tell you, when a seasoned investor will always have a price point to jump out, either to bail out because the price is coming down, or have a price point at a certain level where they're going to take profits. Well, I'm going to tell you, before I take profits, it's definitely north of $15. And you're saying, what? $15? Yeah, I believe that. And actually, to be honest with you, I probably am closer to $30. And we'll talk later in future shows about that. And yeah, you're probably not supposed to talk too much about price of matter and lore and these kinds of things. But let's face it, there is a crypto aspect to Den.Social. But that is a small part, a small sliver of what Den.Social is and what it can be and what it can do. A very small sliver. But we must recognize that there are people that came to Den.Social to make a buck. And I was one of them, but also believing in the technology. I've always been, well, I shouldn't say always, because I saw the birth of the internet, and I was living in California at the time. I have been an early adapter to a lot of technology, and I've always been in that arena in different industry. So, having said all that, that's another reason why I'm here and still believe in Den.Social. So now you know just a little bit more about me and about Den.Social. But, this brings up to our next point. So we've elected this person, which happens to be me. I'm the first emperor elected to be a Den DAO or a DAO leadership role. So you can say that you are right here and you are looking and listening to an actual bona fide elected by unanimous votes, unopposed emperor. Crazy, right? Put that on my resume. But it's not about me. And that's actually what the point I'm trying to make here. This is about Den.Social. It's about you and I and all of us as a community. You could, in a heartbeat, vote me out. And you, in a heartbeat, could vote in a new leader. So it's about the community and not about being an emperor. But I think that has potential to really create a buzz. It's crazy. I know. And we're going to have fun with it. You can see above me here, there's a crown next to the eye. That is my emperor's crown. I have an emperor's robe and all that kind of thing. And we'll have some fun with that. I have some scrolls and maybe, hey, let's watch some crazy cat videos together. And remember Coffee with Den, and that was fun. And my salute to Distant for doing those live Wednesday morning Coffee with Den. We're going to do those again. We're going to go and explore Den.Social together. You're going to watch me upvote things and downvote things and tag things and learn how the platform works. As an ambassador, as the emperor, I'm going to show off Den.Social. I'm going to be on a lot of different podcasts, and every chance I get, I'm going to talk about Den.Social. And my family and I, we went to Hawaii recently. I took that ball cap right there, Den.Social on it, everywhere I went. And I sat at places and I took pictures of it. And I got to post a lot of those pictures on Den.Social so you can see. On the airplanes, I wore that with pride. And I had people ask me about it, and I talked about it. And that is what an emperor does. He goes out and conquers. He brings in new citizens. All right. So my case is I want to bring in new denizens. So let's talk about the snapshot. I like to call it a snapshot. I also like to call it the matrix on how you're going to hold me as your emperor accountable. How you as denizens hold the Den DAO accountable. What is our current state and what holding me accountable? What have I done to make Den.Social a better place for all? So let's look at that. This is how you measure your Den DAO or measure your emperor's leadership. There are 12 items here that I took a snapshot and I just quickly said, these are the 12 items that you can hold me accountable. And of course, number one, and they're not really in any particular order except for number one. Number one is total users on the platform, total Den.Social users or denizens. Okay, so the baseline at the end of the year, 2024, was 7,600. Today, as I'm recording this, we are at 7,610, right? Let me make sure I can see that screen well enough. That's how many we have. It's a dismal increase. That's my job. But it's not just my job, it's your job too, to invite more people to come to the Den.Social platform. All right. Next is current proposals funding balance. Right now, Den.Social has $0, zero investors for new implementations, bug fixes, expansion, whatever. Has $0. It's how you hold me accountable. Matter price. The snapshot was 8.3 cents at the end of the year, beginning of December. We're at 9 cents, 9.1 cents. Dismal. I'm down 90%, right? From my investment. 95%. Lore price. Lore is not as important because lore is used to create layers, and it's not, how shall we say, it's one of the supports. It's one of the legs on the stool. But the real big, heavy, thick leg is the matter price. If you're looking at Den.Social as a crypto space or a crypto play, okay? Or a place to mine social media, kind of like how Bitcoin miners mine, but you could become a social media miner on Den.Social to earn crypto. But you don't have to. You can be a user without mining crypto. You can be a user and view, and you can have postings, and you can reply. You don't have to be a crypto user to be on this platform. Communication to create Den.Social app. Right now, Den.Social does not have. It's not on our phones. It used to be on iPhones and Android. No longer. Issues with that. But right now, that is one of the indices. That's something that I would like to change. And I have some ideas about that. We'll talk about that in future videos. Den.Social YouTube subscribers, 158. Woohoo! It's now 164. Dismal. Horrible. X followers, formerly known as Twitter, 1,890. It's down to 1,873. One, dismal. Two, the wrong trend. It's going down. Horrible. Den.Social TikTok followers. There isn't a TikTok account for Den.Social. A lot of people on TikTok. That should change. Den.Social Telegram. Woohoo! 177. That's nothing. 173. Now you're going to say, whoa, wait a minute, Emperor. These are other social media platforms. There are competitors. Well, not quite. They're very different than what Den.Social has to offer, especially at Den.Social's current state. And more importantly, maybe, we need to be able to use some of these platforms to grow our base. We're not direct competitors to them, but this is a place where we can also reach new people. The Coffee with Den channel reboot. That's exactly what this is. And we're going to have different formats. But this is just the introduction. So has it been rebooted? No, not yet. I'm not going to call it rebooted until you start seeing me weekly or a couple of times a week, and it's a consistent matter, and we're live. We have live people come on, and we talk about Den.Social, and we show off Den.Social, and we up vote and down vote different postings, and everyone starts to learn how Den.Social works. That's when it will be considered a reboot, a Coffee with Den type channel. Total layers created. Well, that kind of happens automatically right now. Where I believe, if my count is right, 204. Okay, if that was 204 layers and there were a lot of active users in most of these layers, then I'd say yes. And if we saw that there were a push to create more layers on a monthly basis, and we had a lot of activity in the LCP process, then I would say this is a good thing. But right now, dismal, horrible. So there's our baseline and what our brief change has become or is. And last but not least, number 12 is alternative video posting option. What is that? Okay. Right now, Den.Social is kind of more of a competitor to Reddit. Yes, you can input a YouTube video and watch the YouTube video on the Den.Social platform. But Den.Social does not have its own media player. It does not have its own live streaming capabilities. That's what I would like to see change. So right now, it's a big fat 0. Good news is there is progress in this area. And there's progress with some people that have huge followings, and they're not just in the US, they're around the world. Because why? Some of them have been canceled, censored, or self-censoring, and they have something to say politically, and they're looking for an alternative location for them to be able to express themselves. Some people out there have cat videos or puppy dog videos, and they want to make some money. And they want a live streaming capabilities or a place to post their recorded videos where they can earn income from it. And we could generate, I think, a lot more users, number one, if we can provide a video capability on the platform. So there is some discussion, there are some talks that are going on, there are some planning that's going on, and maybe we can, something will come out of this. Now, everything I've said here tonight so far must be understood to be not financial advice. I am not your daddy. I might be your emperor, but I'm not your daddy, and I'm certainly not your financial advisor. So you must do your own homework. You must do your own research. You must determine what you can afford to invest, and only you know how much you can afford to invest and how much you're willing to lose. So having said that, that's on you. That's not on me. I'm not your daddy. So big disclaimer there. So Den.Social, I believe, and let's talk real quickly as I'm going in here, why I like Den.Social and why I wanted to be your emperor and why I want Den.Social to grow. As I stated, it's not for the money. I'm already retired. I live comfortably. I'm not chasing the dollar. What I am chasing is a legacy. I want to have a good legacy that I brought about change to this world for the better. And Den.Social is part of that. Den.Social has the ability of wisdom of the crowd, and many people like the platform or have forgotten about this. But this is huge. It is really huge. There's a thing called the wisdom of the crowd, which is an amazing phenomenon. And we'll talk about this in other videos. But basically, you've seen the experiment where there's a jar full of jelly beans and people guess how many jelly beans are in the jar. Well, if you take the mean average and not experts that know the size of each jelly bean and can estimate the volume of the jar, but if you take the mean average, did you know that the wisdom of the crowd is more accurate than the experts? The wisdom of the crowd can discern how many jelly beans are in a jar, or how much a steer will yield, from the butcher, for the butcher, if it was guessed. That's how it was first discovered. It was at a county fair, I believe in Ireland or Scotland. Forgive me for not recalling the exact capability. But see, what Den.Social has, it has the wisdom of the crowd. But not only that, it has something even better. It has the incentive of human behavior to employ and insert the wisdom of the crowd to determine what is fake and what is fiction, what is truth and what is untruth. In other words, the wisdom of the crowd, right now can discern what is AI and what isn't AI if done correctly. We humans, with given the proper incentive in the proper environment, can pick out the truths of a statement as a crowd, because we all have different experiences, we have all different backgrounds, we have all different capabilities and expertise and everything else. And when you put that all in a big group, like us denizens, we can discern out what happens on Den.Social is the quality post, the better post rises to the top, and so shall the truth. That's why I believe in Den.Social. Many of you don't know this, but Joe Roth, the founder of Dragon Chain, who who has worked with his team to create Den.Social as a proof of concept. Do you know that he met with the folks at Twitter with this whole idea of what Den.Social is and could do? But they were relying on something very different, because they were relying on fact checkers. These consultants or corporations or companies with fact checkers that had political leanings that matched the executive level of Twitter. They didn't really want the truth. They didn't want the facts. Later, Musk buys Twitter, renames it X, and guess what he does? He installs community notes. It's almost Den.Social's capability, but not quite. We can do it better. We do it better. We just don't have the numbers yet. So in other words, Den.Social is better than community notes. And guess what? Guess what Mark Zuckerberg just announced last week for Meta, formerly Facebook? He's going to throw out the fact checkers, and he's going to institute community notes. Den.Social is ahead of the game. We have this before they did. Not only do we have it before they did, we have a better version of it because we have incentivized human behavior. We as a community, there are no algorithms here that herd people into certain areas, or, oh, look here. There are no advertisers on Den.Social. You own your data that you're putting in here. You can delete it and off it goes. You control it. When you post on Den.Social, it doesn't mean that Den.Social owns your picture. Den.Social does not own your content. On Facebook, it does. They do. On X, they do. You're their product. You're not the product on Den.Social. As a matter of fact, by you owning Matter, it's a tokenized ownership of the DAO. You have votes. If you want to vote on X, or if you want to vote on Meta, guess what? You got to go buy the stock. And most of the times when you buy the stock, you're not going to have voting rights. But on Den.Social, you do. The voting rights voted a DAO leader. The voting rights voted a leadership position, and the leadership voted me as your emperor because I believe in DAO. I believe in Den.Social. It is a legacy that I believe in will leave its mark long after I'm gone. We have unbelievable technology right here, and most users have no clue. Most users who have looked at Den.Social and left have no clue what they left. In this day and age, people are seeking out truth. They don't want to be lied to. They don't want to be herded. They don't want to be shadow banned. You're not shadow banned on Den.Social. Your content just didn't rise to the top because it didn't have quality. Or your audience didn't understand it because you didn't present it in a way that they could understand it or entice them to vote it up. That has to do with quality. Den.Social is amazing. It really is. And I firmly believe in it. And I'm glad I've had this opportunity to introduce myself a little bit to you, why I believe in Den.Social, and there's a lot more to it than I've just said or stated. So I know I've just been ranting and talking, but now you know a little bit about who I am, where I come from, what I've done, and what I hope to accomplish here on Den.Social. And remember, this is how you're going to hold me accountable. This is how you're going to hold the DAO accountable. And you know what? I'm going to push back. This is how I'm going to hold my fellow denizens accountable. I need your help as well. If you want that matter price to go up, then you need to bring in some people to this platform to post. And you know what? If you're just used to posting in the all layer, and I love the all layer, the cute puppies or the cute family pictures, that's great. That's great. But stretch just a little bit and post in the random layer, or stretch just a little bit and post something in the history layer, or stretch just a little bit and maybe post something in the political layer, or the cryptocurrency layer, or whichever other layer. But we need more postings in more layers. We need more activity in more layers. And I got some ideas for that. We'll talk about those later in future videos. But we are responsible for these numbers. I may be elected as emperor and leader, but together we can make this happen. Together we can make sure that Den.Social's potentials are being met, and for the world to see, and to make the world a better place. I haven't always believed in social media. As a matter of fact, I've never had a Facebook account. Didn't believe it, didn't like it. And I barely messed with Twitter. But Den.Social caught my eye. And take you back, I saw the birth of the internet. I saw the birth of MySpace. I saw the birth of Facebook. So I've seen a lot, and I've always been an early adapter to a lot of technology. And I was an early adapter to Den. And Den got derailed with Dragon Chain's lawsuit. And Den got derailed because we had too many people jump on a live beta site that had some issues and was still getting situated and settled and figuring things out. Mistakes were made, and real good positive programming was laid out and built. And we have a solid foundation, people. We have a solid foundation. So there it is. I'm looking forward to the next time we can talk, and I hope I will make it a little bit more fun and entertaining for you. I'm sure I will. But as we go out, I want you to really pay attention to this video, because this video is the role of a denizen. This is the role of me. This is my role. This is your role. So yes, I'm speaking to the denizens per se in this video, but I'm speaking to others. And remember, if you want to mine crypto, you can do it right here. Social media mining. That's what I call it. So thank you so much for watching till the end. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you on the next one.
Roles of a denizen. A content creator is a user that creates posts and is rewarded based on the quality of their content. A content evaluator is a user that helps assess the quality of content and enforces community standards. The evaluator is effectively taking part in a marketplace to curate content and is rewarded for early evaluation. A content consumer is a user that wishes to find and consume the most valuable content in a given subject area or within a community. A layer owner is a person holding tokenized ownership of all or part of a community layer. Owners are rewarded with a portion of all mining activity happening within their layer. Owners are incentivized to build the best community of content creators and evaluators.